City Winery, Chicago's only winery.
The idea of City Winery really came from an opportunity I had to make wine on the West Coast with a real winemaker and do a barrel. And it was so much fun. But as an egocentric music producer, to be able to put produced by Michael Dorff on the bottle and hand that to my friends who were also into wine, and then they all said, hey, I want to make wine. And so many people said I would like to have that same experience, that it made me realize there is something to this model. We are a private event space, a restaurant, and an intimate concert hall. There is nothing like this place anywhere in the world. I mean, we really have created a unique concept of combining specifically do-it-yourself wine with great music in an intimate environment.
Welcome to Coffee Talk. I'm Mark Tullis. This is my partner, Kirsten Coleman.
Hello.
We are Coffee Cup Productions, and it is Wine and Music Wednesday.
For the City Winery Chicago, absolutely. We are talking today to Jeff Bradshaw. He will be performing on July 22nd.
Yes.
That's a show that you don't want to miss. Very cool.
Welcome.
Well, thank you so much for having a little moment for us. We really appreciate it. So we're excited about your show coming up at the City Winery in Chicago on July 22nd.
Yes.
That's going to be a blast. Marquel was telling us a little bit about that and how he says you sing through your instrument. So
The most lyrical
horn player ever. So can you explain to people here, the folks in Chicago, what your music is all about?
I'm a little kid from the Richard Allen housing project in North Philadelphia. I was raised by my mother and father, Carrie Bradshaw. That really is her name. Carrie, and my father, Norman Bradshaw, the late Norman Bradshaw. He was an incredible musician. He played about 4 instruments. And they raised me in a church called the United House of Prayer for All People, where brass instrumentation is at the forefront of the music ministry. And my father taught me to play. A lot of people don't know that I'm self-taught.
Uh-huh.
A lot of people don't know that I'm self-taught.
Huh.
So my father taught me to play trombone, and his way. The reason why I guess people say that my playing is lyrical is because he taught me to play the words of the song. First songs I learned to play was old gospel spiritual songs, old spiritual gospel songs, so my father taught me to play the words of the song. His whole thing was, if I can't hear the words, then the song is pointless.
Wow.
That's great.
So expressing lyrics through my trombone is how I learned how to play. And then obviously growing up listening to all kind of gospel, and my father loved James Brown. Him and my mother were born and raised in Augusta, Georgia, so he was raised around James Brown. So it was a lot of funk in the house, a lot of gospel in the house, a lot of gospel, a lot of funk. And then I went on to just bear down deep into bands like, everybody from, Marvin Gaye to the Yellow Jackets.
Wow.
I was big Yellow Jackets, Spyro Gyra, Bella Fleck and the Flecktones, Bobby Lyle, Herbie Hancock, Miles Davis. I was all across the board.
Wow.
About music that I loved. And I'm a funk baby. I'm a gospel funk baby, gospel funk soul baby.
Gospel, funk, soul,
son
jazz,
of a trombone player.
I'm all of those things. I dare not put myself in a box because I was raised around so much beautiful music that I'm inspired by all of it.
Mm-hmm.
I'm inspired by all of it.
Mm-hmm.
How did your dad choose trombone?
I don't know, man. It just was one of the feature instruments in our church, and he was a band leader as well, a singer and band leader. as well. And it was just one of the featured instruments. He played guitar, he played tuba, and he played trumpet as well. But his two main instruments were trombone, and he played guitar for the choir and several groups in church. And he sang, woo! And he sang. You know, he was amazing. I would just sit on the front pew in church with my mother, and just watch him, like, you know, just marveling at, wow, this is a guy that cooks pancakes and bacon on Saturday mornings and goes out and works and puts on his uniform. But in church, you know, when he puts his suit on and puts my suit on, he goes to church. He was like a meta-human.
Wow.
He was like not of this. He was like, his talent was just, you could just see that he was just so much more talented than the other musicians around him. He was, you know, a higher being.
And he never wanted to pursue that professionally, so that was not something that he wanted to pursue.
Yeah, he you know, that was a different time.
Right. Right.
That was a time, and you know, you had to provide for your family right now.
Yep.
So
Yes.
he
Not
just
sure how different it is anymore, really. You still have to provide.
but there are multiple ways that you can do that.
That's true. Yes, that's very true.
So, you know, he took very good care of us, him and my mother, and they both retired from the transportation department here in Philadelphia, and he still went on to play his instrument and play. He didn't play trombone in his later years anymore. Every now and then he'll pick it up and mess around with me, but his instrument was singing on the choir and playing guitar for the choir. You know,
Very cool.
he loved that, and he was very good at it.
Awesome.
In our little niche in the world, the trombone player is a rare
Real rare
guy.
Yeah.
How? And you're a trombone player and a band leader and a producer. Who were your trombone heroes besides your
Besides your father, yeah.
About to say Norman Bradshaw. I had many mentors. I had people that I listened to and admired because they were great. Fred Wesley from the JB is, I would say, probably one of my greatest influences outside of my father and church. Fred Wesley, who I got a chance to meet, who signed my horn, who was one of my distant mentors. Fred Wesley is probably my greatest influence. But I mean, between Fred Wesley and J.J. Johnson, that's like, you know, it's like my dad, Fred Wesley, J.J. Johnson. You know, that's, for me, that's the Mount Rushmore of what inspired me. But they're great, 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 great trombone players that I'm constantly inspired by. Curtis Fuller, Slide Hampton, I mean, the greats. And then, you know, obviously the younger crew of guys that I love, my good friend Wycliffe Gordon, trombone shorty who is on my latest album, and one of my best friends, Wycliffe, trombone shorty, Andre Hayward from Houston, Texas, unbelievable. He plays in Lincoln Center Band as well, and has played in Lincoln Center Band. I'm inspired by so many. Saunders Sermon. Saunders Sermon from Miami. I think Saunders from Florida. He lives in Atlanta. Incredible vocalist and jazz trombonist, and soul jazz trombonist. Incredible. Saunders Sermon. There's so many guys that I'm inspired by. But, you know, the Mount Rushmore of trombone, of my inspirations at trombone, is my father, Fred Wesley, and J.J. Johnson.
Yeah, Trombone Shorty has had a real good following here in Chicago. He's played Ravinia, I think, once or twice, and we went to see him at Ravinia here, and boy, that guy puts on a show. First of all, he comes up through the floor with all sorts of smoke and stuff, so...
He's a rock star.
Yeah.
He's totally a rock star, yeah. But he
really is a rock star.
Yeah.
He's my friend, and when I met him, he told, when I finally met him, we talked online. We met kind of like online. And, you know, you kind of know who's out there, you know, because trombone artists that are not in jazz, it's a very small list.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
We're not talking about jazz trombonists, We're talking about just trombonists that are frontmen, band leaders, artists, solo artists
Sure.
that are being successful. It's only a few of us.
Yeah.
So,
You got to give a nod to each other.
Yeah.
Huh?
Yeah.
I followed him, and I didn't know he knew who I was, and and we kind of met online, and one of my friends, I shot one of my videos for my Bon Appetit album in New Orleans, and one of my boys was like, "Hey man, Troy's in town." I said, "Man, I'd love to hook up with him, man. I'd love to meet him, face to face," and he got in touch with him, and we talked a little bit online. He was like, "I'll be at the Blue Nile tonight. Rebirth is playing at the Blue Nile tonight." So I always tell a story. So I was like, "Cool, I'll meet you over at the Blue Nile later tonight." And so I went over to the Blue Nile. Matter of fact, I was on. This was 2011. I was on tour with Patti LaBelle, and we were in New Orleans, and then we linked up. And he met me at the Blue Nile, and I was there, and I got there before he got there. And I was in the back hanging out with a lot of the guys from New Orleans who showed me so much love. I've gotten so much love from all of the incredible musicians from New Orleans.
Oh, they're so amazing, all of them. Yeah, I mean, every last one of them.
It's like I'm not from there, but
Yeah.
because I'm a trombone player and I'm
You're
I'm
adopted.
Yeah, you're adopted though, I'm sure. Yeah.
like I'm kind of adopted
Yeah.
to that. So we're in the back, we're talking, and then the guy kind of waves at me and lets me know that Troy is there. So so he comes to the back. He's coming to the back, and it's like it's an entourage. And he walks in, and he has a couple of guys with him. They got a couple of friends with them, and a couple of short guys with him. And he sees me, and we hug. It's as if we knew each other
Forever. Yeah.
forever.
Yeah.
And we hug, and we're just like, "Oh man, what's up, man?" Man, I bought your first album when I was 15 years old.
Oh, that's
Wow.
so cool. Oh my God.
I bought your first album when I was 15 years old, and I've been digging what you do ever since, man.
Wow.
And we hugged, and it was such an honor for somebody from New Orleans that is the real deal to acknowledge and to say that he appreciates what I do, not being from New Orleans, and it was a good thing. And he said, "Let me introduce you to my boys I brought with me." So he introduces Cuba Gooding Jr. and Lenny Kravitz.
Those are his boys.
Yeah, because that's how he rolls. Yeah.
That's who he was. That's who was rolling.
So then, did you whip out Patti LaBelle? Did you say, "Here's Patti"?
They were like in jeans, t-shirts, and baseball caps, like under the radar, and they're really short guys. Cuba and Lenny Kravitz, they're short.
Oh,
They're little guys.
Yeah.
They're little.
that's too bad. I'm 6 feet tall. I don't like hearing that.
I'm like 6'2". I'm like 6'2", 255.
Yeah.
And they're little guys. So he was, "Yeah, let me introduce you to my man." And I turn around, the guy looks up, and it's like Cuba Gooding Jr. The other guy looks up, and it's like Lenny Kravitz. I'm like, this is your crew? It's like, assemble your crew. So this is your squad?
Aw.
And this was 2012. Like, he ain't just became no rock star.
No, he's been for a while. Yeah.
And I met him, and he was hanging with Lenny Kravitz. Him and Lenny Kravitz and Cuba Gooding Jr. were hanging out together.
Yeah.
So he introduced me to them, and kind of gave me this big introduction. And I was like, I'm just a kid from Philly, man. Listen, just a kid from Philly, So we understand that on the parameters of the whole rock, soul, New Orleans thing, that's his world. And the whole hip hop, soul music, contemporary R&B, neo soul, jazz world. That's so we're like these two parallel universes. Trying to rock the bell, man. Trying to rock the bell. And that's my brother. I asked him to be on my album. He said, "Man, get me a flight in the hotel. I'll be there."
All
Cool.
right.
Awesome. That's so great.
So
he's on my latest
we just met some great folks from Philly.
Diggable Planets.
the crew from Diggable Planets,
Yeah.
and can you just inform we Chicago folk about what happens in Philly and what's how
the
the
scene
neo
there?
soul
Yeah.
thing came together and the jazz and the hip hop and
Well, it's a different time now. But in the time when I came up in Philly, when you had the Black Lily, you had the Roots had the Black Lily, and you had Wilhelmina's, and you had DJ King Britt, who was the DJ for Diggable Planets. DJ King Britt and Dazia had this venue called Silk City, and it was called Back to Basics on Monday nights, and it was just a place to be. Live band and a DJ. DJ plays, the band picks up what the DJ's playing, and they go back and forth.
Oh,
and
cool.
$5 soul food buffet and just music, and then it just we had such a great time in Philly. But this goes back to the legends of jazz that came through our city, the Lee Morgans, the John Coltrane's, the people that anchored us into the world of music, and then Philly International. It's just in the soul. It's in the soil of Philadelphia. Philly International Records. Mr. Kenny Gamble, Mr. Leon Huff. What they did for our city, what they did for music, what they were able to accomplish in that little corner building, in that amazing studio, the magic that came out of the sound of Philadelphia. Phyllis Hyman, the OJs. The Shy Lights. The list goes on and on.
Yeah.
Teddy,
Yeah.
it just
you forget.
You do. You kind of forget. You forget where all these people come from, and
that was our Motown.
Yeah.
That was our Hitsville. Philly International Records was our Hitsville. That was our Motown. It was this was Motown for us. Philly, the sound of Philadelphia. That's our Motown. What Mr. Gamble and Mr. Huff did, and the music that they created, the magic that they created with these artists will live on forever, just like the music of Motown. And it's in the soil. And then it goes on to, Boyz II Men and, Boyz II Men. And we can go from Patty on up. Many artists from here, but, the Grover Washington Juniors. It's like no matter what genre of music, it was just magic.
Yeah.
The Roots. And the Jill Scotts. And the music
Yeah,
store
the Roots. Yeah, right. You do forget
You
that
didn't
they're...
know how much Philly you had.
No, no,
The
you don't. Yeah, you
Rights,
don't.
the Jaguar Rights, and the Jazzy Fat Nasties. We had really special music. Kendrick, the Family Soul. We have special music that comes out of this town, and I'm just so honored to have been a part of this crew with DJ Jazzy Jeff, the legendary DJ Jazzy Jeff, who created A Touch of Jazz Productions and put together these incredible producers: Andre Harris, Vidal Davis, Carvin Higgins, Ivan Barrios, Keith Peltzer, Darren Henson. These 6 producers who created this amazing synergy and this sound in this house, in this incredible studio that Jazzy Jeff built and gave us, like Floetry, Marsha Ambrosius, Jill Scott, like Music Soul Child, like all that great music. See, I'm a soul baby. I know you think I was like, I know you're like, wow, he hasn't really mentioned any jazz musicians.
No, I can feel the soul. Yes, yeah. I totally feel the soul.
If you see my performance, if you come to a Jeff Bradshaw show, it's a soul music experience. I just happen to play trombone. I just happen to play trombone, but it's really a soul music experience. It's no elevator music here.
No.
It's all music from the soul, the music I was raised on, the music I was inspired by. And then there may be hip hop, there could be jazz, there could be soul, there could be R&B. There's going to be a lot of things that comes in my show because I am a lot of things. I was raised by a lot of things. My father didn't pigeonhole me into one thing. He made me appreciate all music: blues, gospel, country. Darius Rucker was on my first album.
Oh. Darius Rucker's a rock star. He's pretty awesome.
Another good friend who was on my album.
Very cool. Awesome.
My current album has Kenny Lattimore, Will Downing, Najee, Take 6, Marsha Ambrosius, Bilal, Trombone Shorty, Kim Burrell, Eric Roberson, Robert Glasper, and Tweet. That's on my last album,
Yeah.
Jeff Bradshaw Friends Live. Yeah.
So people are experiencing this on Facebook Live, but it's also an audio podcast. Can you tell people how to find you online?
It's very simple. Jeff Bradshaw. On Facebook, you can find me under Jeff Bradshaw. On Instagram, I am Jeff Bradshaw. And on Twitter, I am Jeff Bradshaw. Excuse me. But yeah, Instagram, I am Jeff Bradshaw. Twitter, I am Jeff Bradshaw. And Facebook, Jeff Bradshaw.
All right.
Excellent.
Excellent. And then you're coming to Chicago, 22nd of July, City Winery.
Yeah.
Very excited. I'm very, very excited. Ticket link will be in the post. So when we post this, we'll have a ticket link for people to easily buy tickets.
Awesome.
And now we'd like to have you introduce us the song for our listeners to listen to. Which song shall we play for everybody?
This is one of my favorite songs on my live album, Jeff Bradshaw and Friends. This is In O Groove, featuring the amazing Trombone Shorty.
All the way from the Crescent City of New Orleans, Louisiana. Put your hands together for my homeboy, Trombone Shorty!
Coffee Talk is a Coffee Cup Productions podcast. Find our video podcasts on YouTube, Facebook, and our website, coffeecupproductions.com. Audio podcasts can be downloaded from iHeartRadio, Stitcher, Spotify, Google Play Music, Apple Podcasts, Player FM, and Twitter. Search for Coffee Talk, spelled CAWFFEETAWK. Coffee Talk.